Hello learners, welcome to the learning of Database Applications Laboratory. I'm Sushma MD, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Benjanpada, Mangalore. Schema diagram. This is actually the part of the database design. So design is the first stage, then comes our implementation stage of writing queries. So in design stage, let's see the schema diagram. The schema diagram is shown over here in the rectangular boxes. You can just note here the tables that is represented. The first table is publisher table, then comes book table, and then we have actually book authors table, library program table, book copies table, and then finally book lending table. These two tables, author and the last table, card, are additional two tables which we have added for our convenience. Okay, so this is how you write the schema diagram. So schema diagram is the first part of the design, wherein you can just see every table or every entity is represented in the within the rectangular box, and in each such field the attribute of the entity is represented. So you can see a rectangular box which is divided into three fields. The first field indicates the first attribute of publisher, that is publisher name. The second field is address of the publisher, and then the phone number of each publisher. So this is a publisher table, or you can say this is a publisher relation, of which the attributes are publisher name, address, and then phone number. And then here, do not forget to mention the primary key. So here the primary key is the publisher name as mentioned in the question. So this must be underlined. So we call this publisher table as the main table or the base table. Why it is called base table, let's see later. Now the next table we have, that is book table, and here the attributes, it is represented here in rectangular box which is containing four fields or four attributes here. The first attribute is book ID, then comes title, and then the publication year, and then we have the publisher name. So here we can see book ID is the primary key, which should be unique in nature. So next we have the publisher name here, and this publisher name we have already seen once in the main table, publisher. So what is it indicating? The different books which with the different titles and the different publication year will be definitely published by some of the publishers. And from where do we get this publisher names? These publisher names are derived from the publisher table. So here we have all the publisher details like Bosco, Pearson, Expert, and all that. These are all the publisher details like name, their address, and phone numbers should be part of publisher table. Then when you speak about the book table, different books with the different title and the publication year, the publication name has been derived from the main table or the base table, publisher table. So here we represent this publisher name attribute here in the book table is the one as a referencing attribute, and here the publisher name in the publisher table we can call it as a referenced attribute. Okay, so here the referencing attribute is the one which is derived from the referenced attribute, or which is derived from the primary key which is part of the publisher table. So here we call this publisher name as foreign key because it is referencing. And what is referenced? So referenced is actually the primary key which is a part of the base table. So primary key, so whenever you reference something, so that referenced attribute should be primary key in the base table. So I call this as a base table publisher, and this book table I can call it as the referencing table, or I can also call it as a child table which references publisher table. Okay, so here remember, when you put the arrow mark, so this is an arrow which is pointing to the publisher name. So arrow must be always pointing to the primary key of the base table. So do not make any mistakes while drawing the arrow mark. The next table we have, that is author table, and we have only one attribute in that, that is author name, which is primary key. And next we have the book authors table, and the attributes of this is author name and then book ID. So here you can note, it is not called as two different primary keys for a table book authors. We call it as the combination of attributes author name and book ID as a single primary key for the table book authors. The meaning is, author name can meaning is, for example, I can take something like this, author name. So Navate is one of the author, where Navate author can be he is writing a book called DBMS, right? So here let's take the DBMS book ID as 10. So Navate can also write a different book, maybe on DBMS transactions. So that book has different ISBN 11. So next I can have something like the same transaction textbook what Navate has written might have one second author. So second author may be someone called as James, right? So what is that happening here? You can see author name alone I can't call as a primary key, because see, Navate is repeating. The nature of primary key is all values should be unique. But here we can see book ID. Book ID, when we say here, for example, second and third row, book IDs are same. Notice the meaning. The same transaction book has been written by two different authors. So here book ID is repeating, and here book author names are repeating. So here individual attribute author name and book ID are not primary keys, but the row you take, the single row where Navate book ID 10 and compare that with the second row Navate book ID 11, this combinations are unique. So these combinations cannot repeat. So you call it as combination of primary key. So both of the attributes must be underlined. And we can note one more thing here, author name is a foreign key in book authors table. Why is it foreign key? Because it is referencing the author name from the author table or the main table. So here referencing attribute author name, you call it as the foreign key, whereas the referenced attribute here author name in the author table, you call it as the primary key. So here an arrow is drawn from authors, that is book authors table, to author name in the author table. So arrow must be pointing to always primary key, which is a part of the main table or base table author. Similarly, we have one more foreign key, that is book ID. So book ID we call it as a foreign key. Why? Because it is referencing attribute which is referencing to our book ID, which is a part of the base table book. So here book ID is anyways primary key. So our foreign key is book ID here in the book authors table. So here we have both attributes are primary keys, and then the combination of author name and book ID both are, the combination is primary key. So both of them are underlined. We'll go to the next table or the entity, that is library branch table, which has three attributes. One is program ID or branch ID, and then we have branch name, and then we have address. The three attributes, out of which program ID or branch ID we call it as primary key, and that has been underlined. And now you can see here library branch, let me call it as the main table or base table. We'll go to the next table, that is book copies table. Here I have the attribute book ID, and then I have the attribute branch ID, and then I have the last one as number of copies. So here we can see book ID is the one which is a primary key. Branch ID also is primary key. It is something like, again, the combination of book ID and branch ID is primary key, right? So when I am underlining two attributes, the meaning is the combination is primary key. You can see book ID is a foreign key here, which is referencing to, again, the book ID which is a part of the book table, where it is defined as primary key. So an arrow mark is drawn from book ID of book copies table to book ID of book table. So arrow should be always pointing toward primary key, that is book ID of book table. Next I have the program ID, which is part of book copies. Here again this program ID is a foreign key. Why? Because again this is referencing to the program ID of library branch table, or the program ID that has been defined as primary key here in the library branch table. So arrow must be pointing to this branch ID or program ID of library table. So branch ID or program ID is a foreign key over here, right? So next we'll move on to the next attribute, next table, that is book lending. I have here different attributes. First one is card number, next program ID or branch ID, and next is book ID, and then the issue date or date out, and then the due date. So this indicates different cards belonging to different library branches and the different books that has been issued on these different cards. Here you can see in library branch it indicates different libraries available in different locations. This library branch gives you that details. Book copies gives you the information about different books available in different branches and the number of copies of these books available in each such branch, correct? Yeah. So when it comes to book lending table, here the combination of card number, branch ID and book ID becomes a primary key. What is the meaning of that? For each card, one book has been issued and that has been issued by one particular library branch. So that indicates the combination. So that row should not be repeating. The same card cannot get the same book again from the same branch. So that combination is not possible. So it is something like for the same, for the different card this time, in the same library branch, maybe the different book must be, or the same book also can be issued, right? So the same book can be issued for a different card holder in the same branch. So that possibility is okay, fine. So here we have, yeah, the combination of card number, branch ID and book ID is primary key. So here again the coming to foreign key, you can see here one of the thing is foreign key. Card number is a foreign key here in the book lending table, but from where it has been derived? It has been derived from the main table card. So in card table you can see card number is primary key, but remember, as I already said, this is a wrong thing. Card number should be a foreign key, so which is referencing to the card number that is primary key in card table. So here arrow must be pointing to the primary key always. Next we have branch ID. This is again a foreign key which is pointing to the branch ID of library branch table. Again book ID is also here foreign key which is pointing to the primary key book ID which is present in the book table. So this is how you write the schema diagram, and I hope this schema diagram part is clear. The next part is in entity relationship diagram, or we can also call it as ER diagram. Let's see the representation of this library database with ER diagram or entity relationship diagram. So you can note here every entity must be represented as a rectangular box. You can see book, author, library, and then publisher, and then card, and now finally we have the author table also. All these are entities which is represented inside the rectangular box, where we have every entity defined. For every entity we have the attributes defined here. So every attribute is represented within the oval. So oval shape is used to represent attribute. You can note here primary key should be underlined. So this book ID here in book table indicates it's a primary key. Here author name is primary key. Similarly here program ID or branch ID is primary key. Here card number is primary key, and here publisher table, publisher name is the primary key. So we remember to underline all the attributes which is a part of the which is nothing but the part of an entity. Okay, so here you can see a diamond shape or the rhombus which is used to indicate the relationship. So book authors is a relationship between the two entities, that is book and author. Similarly here book copies is a relationship which is relating book table and the library table. Similarly book lending is a relationship which relates again book table and the library table. Similarly we can have a published by as a relationship which relates book published by different publishers. Next, we can have a card, which is an entity here, which is relating to book. So every book must be issued by, or it should be it should be issued by with the help of a card. So it should be a relationship between book and card. So you can see here, you cannot find any independent entities here. Independent entities means what? An entity which is not relating to any other entities or something. Such entities we don't have in the diagram. We should not have in the diagram. Every entity should be related to the one or the other entity with the help of a relationship. Okay, so you can just note here, there are several other things also inside the ER diagram specified within the ER diagram. So what is it? You can see this M, N, or you can see 1N. What is it called? It is cardinality ratio. So you can see here the first cardinality ratio mentioned, that is 1:n. What is the meaning of this? See, a publisher should be publishing several books there, right? Or in other words, I can say a book can be published, must be published by a particular publisher. There cannot be a book which is not published by any of the publishers or something, right? It should be like DBMS book, for example, or Navate book you take, you can take Computer Networks book or ATCI book. All these books must be published by one or the other publisher. So I cannot have, for example, like Pearson can publish, Pearson is a publication name, okay, that can publish multiple books. So Pearson publication, we can have DBMS book also, CN book also, ATCI book also. One publisher can publish multiple books. But can I have one book, that is DBMS book, which is published by multiple publishers like Pearson or Bosco or something like that? It cannot be. So one book must be published by only one publisher. So that is why the ratio when you are taking, it should be like, say, from bottom to top. If I am taking, one publisher publishes n number of books always. Okay, so one publisher can publish n number of books. But in the other case, if I am taking bottom to top, one book must be published by only one publisher. That is why the ratio is 1:n. What about this book and author ratio? See, one book can be published by multiple authors. I mean, not published, written. So one book can be written by multiple authors, like your Computer Networks, if I'm taking, that has two authors. So there one book can be written by multiple authors. What about the author side? One author can also write multiple books. So your Navate can write DBMS book also. He has written DBMS book, as well as he has written several other books also, maybe related to database only. So one author can write multiple books. So the ratio here what we have taken is M:n. So that is nothing but our M:n relationship between book and author. We can have again the next relationship, that is book copies. The relationship or the ratio here taken is M:n again. So what is it meaning? What is the meaning? So book copies relates our library table and the book table. So one book can have multiple copies of a book, can be available in a particular library, or a library can have again n number of books, n copies of n number of books. So that is why we have taken the ratio as M:n, both from book side and library side. It is like one book, or the DBMS book, for example, if I am taking, copy of that can be there in multiple libraries located in, say, maybe Gandhinagar, Lal Bagh, or several libraries can have DBMS book, multiple copies of DBMS book. So here book is same, DBMS book written by the same author, but the copies of that may be available in multiple libraries. So we have taken it as M from book side. What about the library side? One library can have DBMS book, your networks book, ATCI book, multiple copies of various books may be there in each library. So that is why here N is taken from the library side. So M:n is the ratio. Similarly, this also you can analyze it on your own. So book lending. So one book can be issued with the help of one card, or you can take it as something like, one card can be used here to borrow one particular, it is something like a card is used to borrow one particular book, or you can say something like that is in a particular library, but when you go to the other library, again the card can be used there to borrow the same DBMS book. It's like two different libraries. If I'm taking, see, one card when I'm taking here as an entity, it refers to cards used in multiple libraries, okay, not just single library. So multiple libraries. In a single library, one card can be used only for borrowing one book, but when I'm taking card as an entity, this refers to multiple libraries located in multiple location. So DBMS book can be borrowed from different cards that is belonging to different libraries, right? So I have taken, that is why n side, n from the card side, that is n number of books can be taken from cards. And similarly M, what is the meaning of M? So same thing. So from book side, if I'm taking, DBMS can be issued, DBMS book can be issued on the cards from different libraries. So that is the M side from the M, that is from the book side, okay, M is to N ratio. So this is how you write the cardinality ratio. You can note one more thing over here specified, that is nothing but the double line and single line. What is the meaning of that? Here you can see double line, whereas here you can see single line. So this meaning of this double line is always total participation. So what is total participation? What is this single line? This refers to partial participation. So this total participation is always represented by two lines. What is total? See, book is participating in a relationship called book authors. What is the meaning of that? See, all books must be written by one or the other author. There cannot be a book which is not written by any of the author or something. So it is something like all the books are participating fully in the relationship book authors. That means all books must be written by one or the other author. So that is why the participation, I have taken it as total participation. Similarly, from the author side, if I'm taking, there cannot be an author who has not written any of the books, right? So the book, when I say an author, he must have written one or the other book. So that is why the participation from the author side, we have taken it as total participation. So two lines are used to represent here. Now let's see about the partial participation. Why it is single line here? See, a copy of a book should be there in a particular library, I said. There can be something like none of the libraries have DBMS book, a copy of DBMS book. That possibility is also there, right? So it is not compulsory that copy of DBMS book should be there in the library. So there can be libraries where copy of DBMS book is not there. So that possibility is there. So that is why I have taken the participation constraint as partial from the book side. What about from the library side? See, it is same thing. Again, a library need not have copies of all the books, right? Computer network book may not be there in a Gandhinagar branch, or maybe computer network book may not be there in Lalbagh branch. So it is something like a library need not have copies of all the books in it. So that is why I have taken the participation as partial from library side. So partial participation from both the side in book copies. What about your book lending? Book lending, which relates book table and library table. So what is it here? A book should be borrowed from a particular library. So here all the books that is available there, you can say you need not borrow all the books from a particular library. There can be many books left out there. So when I'm speaking from book lending perspective, that is from library and book side, the participation from book side is partial, but don't get confused. I've taken it as double here just to show the relationship between card and book, okay? Card and book. So here I cannot represent this book lending as a common relationship. Why? Because participation constraints are different. So you can show it as a different relationship, okay? But here I have taken the same relationship. So don't get confused. Let's take it as total only. So it is all left to your perspective, okay? So user's perspective, you can consider it as total or partial. But here when I'm taking from library side, again borrowing, so a library need not have, you do not lend all the books all the time, right? Some of the books only can be lent from the library. So I have taken it as partial from the library side. But what about this card side when you're taking? A card should be used for lending the books. You cannot lend the books without, you cannot borrow the books without a card or something, right? So card must be used. So from a card, you must borrow the book. So it is total participation from card side. What about from the book side? Again, a book should be borrowed from the card only. So without the card you cannot borrow the books. So here total participation again from the book side. What about here publishing thing? See, book is published by a publisher, right? So all the books should have one or the other publication. So all the books should be participating totally in the relationship published. What about from the publisher side? Bosco's or BSN, those are all the standard publication wherein they have one or the other books published. But there will be some local publishers, they may not have any books to publish there. So such case we can take publisher as partial participation. So there can be a publisher who has not published any books. That is why I have taken the participation constraint from the publisher side as partial. So I hope this concept of partial participation, total participation, and then cardinality ratio 1:n, m:(n) is clear here. Okay, so this ER diagram is a part of design, and in the exam you might be asked to write either ER diagram or schema diagram, or sometimes both. Okay, so remember the notations, carefully write the attributes, represent the primary key by underlining it, and also don't forget to write the cardinality ratio and participation constraint. So participation constraint and cardinality ratio is left to the user's perspective. You can give the proper justification for your constraints that you are specifying. I hope this is clear.